Today we're looking at music and music production, and we're going to break down a song that I made for Dakota's new Vans video. We'll start with some guitar. When I first get the footage from Calvin, it was just rough cut. That's all we're pretty much seeing right here. And then I go in and layer some stuff up. Here we go. Going back to the very first guitar, this is the first thing I laid down. Just by putting down this part, I gave it some time to like build in. I don't even know what I'm gonna do at this point. I just kind of let it go until I feel like it's time to move on. So each thing kind of gets made into little chunks, as far as this is the intro, and then it moves into the verse, and then it moves into what kind of comes back as a chorus, and it just kind of moves in that way, and that's how I start to lay out the structure of the song. And then I go and I add some drums. So anyways, we hear the drums, right? Then the next thing we do is we add in some bass. In the references Dad gave me, the bass was really prominent. So for me, getting that bass sound, this is where everything starts to get even better. These guitars here are the thing that's making this kind of interesting. Is that big, full, sweeping sound. And then you throw the drums back in. Now it's starting to shape into the song. And from here, we pretty much go into leads. I'll end up just throwing something random down. Like this track here is just a bunch of pretty much noise over top of it. That stuff just helps fill out the song. Here's where we get into some fun stuff. Now I start playing with the keyboard, and we get into some keyboard effects that, to me, one of my favorite parts is Dak hits the wall ride off the roof onto the awning and drops down, and then there's this bell part, and that to me is one of my favorite pieces. In the beginning of it, it's just some organs and stuff like this that are pretty minimal, but this kind of starts making some shape to it. You know, organs have an older, kind of more 60s, 70s feel to them. Music of that era is completely Dak, so I had to have something that kind of had a feel to kind of throw it back to him. Without being connected to the rest of the song, it doesn't sound like much is going on. In fact, it sounds terrible, but you get a choir coming in. Listen. Instead of being so loose with the tremolo guitars, I change it into something that's a little more driven. It has a little tiny piano going on in there. And I just move it into a different rhythm, so it's much different from this style into that. Just lets there be a big change in the song and let the flow go and give you a whole different vibe to work with. That kicks in, and you're into this next part of the song, and then I put another change into it. And now we're messing with the first chords that were in the beginning of the song, and they're back here, and then it just builds up with all the bangers, hitting them one after another, and it finishes off. He hits the roof 180, and that's the video. And then the goat hangs with the goat. All the clips were not filmed by the time that we were working on this song, so he didn't have the ender, he didn't have a couple of these other clips. I just make it loosely to what the video part would be, and then Calvin takes it, rearranges all the footage, lines up everything, takes those little gaps, takes the transitions of the song, and takes the clips that work in those places and makes that come together and all finished up in the final video that you see. Calvin, good on you. Video turned out amazing. Dak, amazing job. Working so hard, both of you, on getting that video done. You guys go check out the shoe and the whole collection that came out with it. Go watch the video on the Vans YouTube channel, and hopefully I can be making more music and doing stuff like this. And if anybody needs anything, reach out. I'm trying to make music, and I'm trying to make something effective for whatever I'm working on, and just kind of be creative in that process. So hit me up. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, more stuff coming up soon.